Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and compare the iPhone 13 against the iPhone 8 Plus and see which one you should pick up for the money, which one is the better bang for dollar. Now, I will leave both of these phones linked down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, there are definitely some differences. The iPhone 13 has a much bigger display and an OLED panel, 6.1-inch OLED panel here. The iPhone 8 Plus has that 5.5-inch IPS panel. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't think there's a crazy big difference between these two. Obviously, there's a bigger difference with like the bezel and all that stuff, but both of them look good in terms of a panel sense. But the iPhone 13 does look overall better. You have that smaller notch up top. The iPhone 8 Plus design is outdated. The panel's not bad, but the design is outdated, and that is the biggest thing to keep in mind. But some people may still prefer Touch ID, which is fair in and of itself. Now, in terms of the thinness, the iPhone 8 Plus is actually a pretty thin phone, and I think the iPhone 8 Plus definitely is a thinner phone here. The iPhone 13 isn't like a thick phone by any means, but the iPhone 8 Plus is a little bit thinner, but it's a bigger phone. The 8 Plus is a much bigger phone than the 13. Now, on the back, you do have glass backs on both that feel almost identical. My 8 Plus does have a cracked glass back, so keep that in mind. Dual camera setups on both as well, but the iPhone 8 Plus has a telephoto lens. The iPhone 13 has a ultra-wide sensor, lightning port at the bottom, power button on the side, and that really pretty much covers it up on the outside. I don't know why I say it every single time that rhymes. Now, another very important thing about the, I guess the outside of these devices, and I guess more so the internally, is the longevity. Now, the iPhone 8 Plus came out in 2017, so this phone is pretty much almost already outdated. It's going to be outdated probably within the next couple of years. I think it's going to probably get maybe another 2 years of updates, and then that's it. I think this cycle of devices, though, are probably going to match something like the iPhone XS. We really don't know yet, but we're going to have to see in the future. Now, with the iPhone 13, it just came out, so this thing's going to be supported for quite a bit of time. So it's not outdated tomorrow, it's not outdated tonight, it's going to be outdated within a couple years from now. So this thing is going to be supported here. It's going to be around for quite a bit of time, and that is one of the biggest reasons to go from an iPhone 8 Plus to an iPhone 13 is to get a longer supported phone. Now, let alone the newer design and everything, and that is a pretty big thing to keep in mind. Now that covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. Now with the iPhone 13, you have that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. With the iPhone 8 Plus has that Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background except for this one. The iPhone 8 Plus apps are cleared out, so let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing. Hopping out of this one, let's do their app stores. 3, 2, 1. Now there may be some Wi-Fi issues, I don't know yet. So there was a little pop-up here, kind of annoying, but there's nothing we can do. Let's get into the home screen and let's go and scroll through. And pretty much the same thing. I don't really think there's that big of a difference. Hopping out of this one, we can even get into their settings. 3, 2, 1. And I love testing random apps like this because sometimes even an app like this can have some differences, but there really wasn't. Let's get into mail. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 13 definitely was faster here. Hopping out of this one, let's get into camera. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing here, not a big difference. Podcasts. 3, 2, 1. Pop-up was faster on the iPhone 13. And we can go and get into news. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 was the faster one. By quite a bit of time, the iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind, but definitely nothing super. I don't know why this one didn't load at all. That was pretty insane. Music 3, 2, 1. And quite possibly the iPhone 8 Plus may be the faster one, but I am talking before they finish. And I am in a part that has bad signal, so that could possibly be what's going on. So let's go and hop out of this one. Let's get into some of these third-party applications. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And of course we have a pop-up here. That's very annoying. We can give a leeway of 2 seconds to the 8 Plus. And even at that point, the iPhone 13 would still have been faster no matter what. So again, even though there was a little bit of a delay, it's still important to keep in mind, whatever. The 13 would have still been faster. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into the next one, which is BOFA 3, 2, 1. And the 13, I think, is the faster one. iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. Let's get into Dropbox 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Quizlet 3, 2, 1. And again, iPhone 13 was a faster one. Let's go in and get into Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And the 13 again is the faster one. 8 Plus may not load. Now this is due to a network issue. I don't know what's going on with these devices. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. and the iPhone 13 is faster, and the iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. Gameplay wise, probably roughly around the same thing. Let's get into Snake First blocks. 3, 2, 1. You can see iPhone 13 faster, iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. Getting out of this one. Let's get into stack. 3, 2, 1. And I guess the 8 Plus was faster to load into the ad. I don't know what happened with the iPhone 13 there. They both kind of hung there. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And it's probably going to be the case where the 13 is the faster one again. And I think that's what's going to happen. So a lot of these games rely on network connectivity. The 13 was faster. 8 Plus was going to be behind regardless, probably. Facebook 3, 2, 1. 13 faster. 8 Plus a little bit behind. Twitter 3, 2, 1. 13 faster. 8 Plus bit behind. And we can go ahead and end off with like something like Snapchat 3, 2, 1. And the 13 is faster. So definitely, without a doubt, you're getting a much faster phone on the iPhone 13. And that is a very important thing to keep in mind. I think both these phones actually do end up kind of being, I don't want to say around the same speed, but I will say the 8 Plus surprised me about still how fast it is. So definitely the iPhone, 13 is the faster one without a doubt. But the 8 Plus still did a pretty good job too. So let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go and do a quick camera comparison between these two phones. Now on the back, like I mentioned, dual camera setups on both. Obviously, we have a correct glass here. Now 12 megapixel lenses, 4K 60 on the back, but it is a big thing to keep in mind. With the iPhone 8 Plus, you have a telephoto lens here, and the sensors are much smaller. Whereas on the iPhone 8, on the iPhone 13, you have a dual camera setup, wide and ultra wide, with an ultra-wide sensor. So you don't have a telephoto lens, but you do have an ultra-wide sensor. Now in terms of the camera UIs, as always, you have almost the same exact thing, and both are on iOS 15. Now you still have portrait mode and everything on the iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 13, but you do have this new cinematic mode on the iPhone 13, which is actually really cool. I like this feature a lot. I've made a video or two on this already, and I think it's a really awesome feature. Now the 8 Plus's camera, like I mentioned, has always been pretty good. It's treated me well. I think it's a pretty good dual camera setup. It hasn't really aged the best though, mostly because we have ultra wide sensors and stuff. Only 1080p at 30 on the front as well. No 4K 60 on the front, but you do have 4K 60 on the back. The iPhone 13 can shoot 4K 60 on the front and the back, so that is a massive difference for sure. But the iPhone 8 Plus camera still is pretty good in my opinion. Now with the iPhone 13's camera, I mean, this one is definitely the best camera out right now for, I guess, the budget tier iPhone, but the 13 Pro has better camera. This thing has all the features you want, ultra wide sensor. You don't have the ability of zooming in a lot like the iPhone 8 Plus, but it really depends. Do you like the iPhone 13's ability to zoom out a lot, or do you like the iPhone 8 Plus's ability of zooming in a lot? They both kind of differ here, but the iPhone 13's camera is still better because you have 4K 60 on the front and the back, whereas you only have 1080p at 30 on the front of the iPhone 8 Plus. And now we make it to the end of the video. So should you go and buy an iPhone 8 Plus? Should you buy an iPhone 13? And this is what I'll tell you. If you have an iPhone 8 Plus, going up to the iPhone 13 is a really good upgrade. This is a proper update. It's not like you're getting kind of more of the same. You're getting a really good upgraded device. You're getting a better looking display, bigger display, better battery life, Face ID if you like it, doesn't really matter. Faster performing phone, I mean, they kind of are the same to be honest. The iPhone 13 is definitely faster. You're getting a really good camera on the back with that dual camera setup, which is beautiful. And I mean, what more do you want from a phone? The next couple phones we're going to be getting, the iPhone 14 is looking to be like a really massive update, but this is still a really good, proper update. And for $800 something, it's not a bad phone. Now the 8 Plus is still not a bad phone either. I mean, you can get this thing for like $300, probably even less than that, and it's still a pretty decent phone. But the thing that ages it is the design. The iPhone 10 with the same exact internals is a much better phone because of that proper design with that notch and all that stuff. And this one is pretty outdated. I mean, it doesn't feel cheap though. That's the thing. The 8 Plus feels almost exactly the same thing as the iPhone 13 in terms of build quality. But I mean, are they really though? You can definitely tell the 8 Plus is the older looking one. So take it as you will, but I'm pretty sure I'd rather have an iPhone 13 than an 8 Plus. But that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.